everyone, and welcome to another initial reaction. This time it's going to be to the first film of 2022 that I've seen. If you don't count the Harry Potter special, which maybe some people consider that a movie. I don't as much. It's like a television special. Anyway, point is, the first film of 2022 that I saw in the theater, the 355. What's that stand for? Well, if you've seen the trailer, you know. It's revealed at the very end of this movie, so it doesn't play a whole lot into the plot. But this time what we have is a bunch of ladies from different countries, agencies, that team up to take down the bad guys. Oh yeah, this is one of those team-up movies. One of those movies where the agencies just can't get along. Nobody can really decide who should be bringing in this bad guy, who wants the credit, who wants to make sure the job is done right, and that nobody on the inside is going to be, a rogue agent, a double crosser. It's one of those kind of movies. And, those are the types of movies that usually you watch at home, you play in the background, or you have a couple drinks, spend some time with friends, and you laugh as you watch a bunch of good old cliched action thriller events happen on TV. So the 355, I kind of went into it thinking it was not going to be that great of a film. The reviews only came out today. I think the review embargo literally ended today. And I didn't see anything that made me think, oh, this is going to be something interesting. But, from the cast alone, it got me interested. I felt that a lot of the cast in this film, to me, just overall, was like the most underrated ladies that you can get in Hollywood. Lupita Nyong'o, Jessica Chastain, especially the fact that Diane Kruger's in this film. I don't feel like I see a lot of Diane Kruger out there anymore, but, given that I was a big fan of National Treasure as a kid, I always really liked Diane Kruger in that film. And then, as years went on, I realized she was also in Inglourious Basterds, so seeing her again in the film in general was great to see. Like, that alone got me in the theater. And they're great. They're all really great in the film. And I think Penelope Cruz, of course, is also in the film. And I think overall, them working together, it works. It makes the movie kind of work for a plot that's really silly, riddled with cliches. Simon Kingbeeg is on to direct the film. And, the last film that he did that I saw was Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was not really the best way to go out on the X-Men franchise. As the final of the prequel X-Men films. And, he has previous writing credits that, for films that I've seen of his that he's written, I haven't thought they were bad, but I've certainly understood that he has a style of writing where there's cliches and also there's ridiculous. It just, some of his writing gets pretty ridiculous. And in this film, again, things get pretty ridiculous, and it almost gets kind of hard to follow along. I don't even really understand from the beginning, because the whole idea is like, who do you trust? Who can you really trust? And who on the inside is going to double cross the good guys? But from the beginning, I didn't really get a sense of which side everything was on anyway, because I don't know. I mean, at first the heroes are fighting amongst each other and then they don't, but this isn't like a smart way of doing it. Like, something like Guardians of the Galaxy, where everyone's fighting against each other and they eventually team up. This film, it doesn't seem like there's a natural progression into the fact that they team up and they decide they have to work together to work against the bad guys. Honestly, I feel like there's way too many cliches thrown in there and too many ridiculous plot points to really, get invigorated into the story, to really buy these characters, to buy this storyline, and to really get behind the emotion of it all. But I also don't think it's as bad as a lot of people made it out to be. Like I said, I still think the charisma of the actors alone kind of makes the movie effective. It's nice to see Sebastian Stan do something a little different from what I've seen him do in the past, even though the role he ultimately ends up playing is kind of cliched. I still enjoyed it for the most part because it was like something different. I saw something different from him. And seeing these ladies all interact was great. I got to see Diane Kruger in the film again. So that alone, I'm super happy to see that. And but in the end, I can't really get behind this story. I can't ignore the fact that so many things that are done have been tired and done so many times in films before, and that some of the plot points are ridiculous and underwritten to a point. I just felt like there could have been a little more humor thrown in there, or a little more distinct characterizations, and uh, something with the plot to make it a little more unique. Something that, even if we had seen it before, just don't go for the most tired things that you could think of. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those movies where it's like, as you're watching it, I wouldn't say I was bored. I had a fine enough time. It didn't feel as riddled with expositions as the last movie I saw. So, I mean, as my inaugural film for the 2022 season, I would say it, it's pretty much what you would expect from January, but I had to find enough time. It wasn't as bad as a lot of movies that I've seen in the usual January month. So, if you need to just see some ladies kick ass, even though the action sequences aren't really filmed or staged as well as they could have been, um, but if you like these actresses, it's probably worth it. Maybe worth it once it's at home in the living room on Netflix, or if you're still using Redbox. Those are my thoughts.